Hey guys, so today I have part 3 of the Essie summer trilogy of collections and the final part. This is the gel couture collection called the Sunrush Metals. So 6 metallic polishes here all together. Like I've said in the other videos, most of my reliable Essie websites have not been carrying a lot of Essie, or they've been carrying the collections very sporadically. So these are available on Ulta, on the Ulta website right now, but the gel couture polishes run a little bit more expensive because they're supposed to be extended wear. So they're $11.50 a piece on the Ulta website. They are on 88beauty.com. A quick search on eBay, the full collection is available on eBay. It looks like about $10 to $10.50 a piece, and there is a set for $53.99 and free shipping. So you might have to look around a little bit. So 6 polishes here all together, and I will get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Steal the Show, and Essie describes this as a soft, neutral gold metallic. So this one is sheer on the first coat. It is a little bit hard to pick up on camera, but there is a very slight pink shimmer in this as well. And there are some brush strokes when that's wet, but it is a little bit more on the sparkly side. I don't think it's going to be really brush stroke heavy once it's dry, because I think that little bit of sparkle that's in there is going to help distract from that. So this one is still a bit sheer on that second coat. Can't really see it much from the viewfinder angle. From the angle that I'm looking at my nails, I can still see a good amount of nail line here. Again, hard to tell because that first coat is a bit sheer, but it looks like most of those brush strokes did smooth out as it dried. So this one does cover, I would say, almost completely on that third coat. The color looks a little bit better as well. I look at it, like really look at it and really look for nail line, I can just barely see it, but it's not. I don't think it's anything to worry about. And the same with the brush strokes. If I really look, I can see some, but I have to go out of my way to find them. I also just stuck my finger in that nail. So that is 3 coats of Steal the Show. The next polish is called Sunrush Metal, and Essie describes this as a yellow-toned coral metallic. So this one is also a little bit sheer. Some brush strokes when it's wet as well, so I'm trying to make those as straight as possible. And good formula on this one. So on this second coat, I can still see just a little bit of nail line. It's very minor, and it's only from certain angles. It's just enough for me to do a third coat, but I think a lot of people will probably be okay with 2 coats with this one. That's just going to depend on your preference and your application style. And the majority of those brush strokes also disappeared after the polish dried. So this one, it does cover completely in 3 coats. The nail line that I had did show up a bit more after that second coat was fully dry. And after there were 2 coats built up and the polish was a little bit more opaque, you could also see more of those brush strokes. Still not bad, but more obvious than they were before. So that is 3 coats of Sunrush Metal. So the next polish is called In My Element, and the Essie website actually has the wrong description for this one. It describes it as a bronze, but the bronze polish in the collection is also described as a bronze, so this one just isn't on the website. So this is a kind of lilac metallic polish. It does seem a little bit warmer than what I would consider a true lilac color. It has a little bit of pink to it. So this one is pretty sheer on that first coat, and there are some brush strokes when it's wet as well. But good formula on this. So this one is still a bit sheer on that second coat. Kind of expected that because it was pretty sheer on the first. Like the other polishes, most of those brush strokes did go away once the polish was fully dry, but I'm expecting to see them a little bit more in the second and third coats, just because it will be more opaque. So I am adding a third coat here to cover up just a few spots, but the more I look at this, the more I don't think it needed a third coat as badly as I thought it did initially. I was moving my fingers to a bunch of different angles and really didn't see too much nail line. And the brush strokes are nearly completely gone also. So that is 3 coats of In My Element. The next polish is called Sequ-in The Know, and this is just described as a rosy metallic. So this one is pretty sheer on the first coat. It also has some pretty significant pink shimmery particles that are kind of floating in there as well. And those really help break up the brush strokes even when the polish is wet. And good formula on this one. So this one is a bit sheer on that second coat, but the color is building up pretty well. And once that second coat is there, those pink shimmers stand out much better. So this one was a lot like the last polish, where some angles seemed to shear and other angles seemed totally fine. But I'm doing that third anyway, just to cover up the nail line that I did have. And virtually no brush strokes once this is fully dry. So that is 3 coats of Sequ-in The Know. The next polish is called What's Gold is New, and this is described as a golden copper metallic with yellow and red undertones. So this one is also a bit sheer on that first coat, not terrible though. Some fairly minor brush strokes when it's wet, but the brush strokes in all the other polishes have calmed down a bit once it's dry, so I would expect the same thing from this one. And good formula as well. So this one, I mean, I'm only 1 nail in, but this is looking really good in 2 coats. I'm going to let this fully dry before I call it, but I think this will be a 2-coater. And those brush strokes did smooth out quite a bit. So fully dry, this is totally opaque. We are good to go. That is 2 coats of What's Gold is New. And the last polish is called Sunday Style, and this is described as a bronze metallic with red undertones. So this is very opaque on that first coat. It's not completely opaque. I still have a couple of spots where I can see through to my nail line. I also just made a mess. Okay, I accidentally took a little bit off of the corner of my pointer finger when I was cleaning up that flooding, but it's okay. This is opaque enough that I can fix that with the second coat. If I try to fix it right now, I'm just gonna make it worse. Good formula on this one as well. And the brush strokes really aren't too bad at all, even when it's wet. So this one covers completely on that second coat. It was nearly opaque in one, just not quite there for me. The brush strokes completely disappeared once it was fully dry. And this is the only one that I've noticed. I don't know if the other ones have, and I'm just noticing this one because it's darker, but it's the only one that I've noticed has dried dull. Not sure if it is the only one that's dried dull or if it's just standing out so much because of the shade. So that is 2 coats of Sunday Style. So Sunrush Metal is going to be my favorite. It's peachy and it's gold and it's pink, and I always gravitate towards those kinds of shades. I like those colors all together when there's shimmer involved. So that is the Essie Gel Couture Sunrush Metals collection and the last part of the Essie Trilogy of summer collections. So I will link the other 2 parts down below because I'm putting them all up at the same time. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.